So working with softening the edges of the earth walk means, okay, life is hard. Living in a physical body and the challenges that we have to go through challenge us all the way to, and even with the skills we have, meditation, yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, music, writing, art, moving through the world, breathing, all of these skills we have, dancing, walking, being in nature, still sometimes catch us. And it's very hard to soften the edges. So we just keep going back to the breath. You know, the number one thing people say when, you know, you're in yoga and you're just not going, or you're in meditation and you go off on all the problems, come back to the breath. It's simple. Come back to the breath. But it's not simple. It's kind of hard. The brain is so complex and the interconnections are going crazy, right? So remember that this is partly the reality of living on the planet in these physical bodies. And then you have to start to recognize that you are light. Whoa. Okay, so, but we have to brainwash. So you are light. You can heal the world one heart at a time. And healing your own heart starts to really help the edges that are so harsh. And that love, and the truth of love, is what Paramahansa says. It's from a state of consciousness from which stems all the thoughts, deeds, and actions that are most appropriate to the evolution of the other, whoever the other is. You know, and I always think of it as another person, but it could be a corporation, or it could be, a bank, you know, that was corporation, but something in the earth walk that makes life difficult in the human body. So as we go into our session today, know that we have these 12 chakras. And the first one is now, I learned, the first one, some people are representing it by 0 in the world of 7. So imagine the 0, and imagine that 0, because there's a lot about 0. There's a whole numerology about the 0. But even without that, it's, instead of changing the number of the chakras from 1 at the earth whole chakra, you know, so the earth chakra is beneath our feet. And it's beneath the feet 3 to 4 feet. So you're, and other people say it's only 12 inches, you know, so, you know, things are changing in this realm of the understanding of the new earth and the new human. As we evolve to this new human, yoga is one of the fastest things I've ever seen to evolve, you know, and it's got 10,000 years on it of like accepting the evolution. And so it's a good one to play with. And earth one is, the earth is beneath your feet. And that's 0. And then you go to the first chakra. So we're going to start on the floor if you're not there already, and just lie down and relax on the floor. And we'll go through this new human, and also have your equipment, you know, have the equipment that you might think you need. If you need a chair or you want to be on a bed, that's fine too. And I'm going to come down and just come all the way down today. Sometimes I come down to seated on the floor, and you can come down seated on the floor on cushions or not. And just come all the way down and feel the earth if you haven't been there. And take a moment to go into your consciousness and create an image of what does it mean to soften the edges of the earth walk. I know a lot of us have a whole collection of skills, and sometimes life just nails you, and all of those skills, as many as you have and as many as you can use, they're just not being effective at the moment of the overwhelm and the struggle. And the struggle right now has to do a little bit with the changing systems and the outdated systems and systems that are way behind. You know, they've kind of gotten behind, not just because of the pandemic, but also because of the quick, incredible changes that are being made everywhere, all at the same time. So that technology that we had before even is disrupted, and it's like really, challenging to navigate. Like I told you, I just want to get rid of one email. I got too many emails. One's getting all the spam. Impossible. So take a deep breath in with your challenges and just let it go with a big sigh, as though that sigh can just be like a bathing of the body. Inhale. Exhale with a loud sigh. Let it vibrate at the throat where we're all working from. And again, deep inhale all the way to the crown of the head and let go of the week. Let go of all the different parts of this week. As we come out of January into February and we move into March, we know that right now we are being visited in this incredible area of the Big Dipper, one of our amazing, iconic constellations, and we're being visited by a green comet. So if you have clear skies, take a good look out up there and see if you might find a way to see that comet. Either connect with an astronomy club or just know that it's up there, and it's somewhere in the vicinity of the Big Dipper. And I think we have all of February to see it. So just take that in, and it is sort of like a symbol, a metaphor for bringing in, and it's interesting that it has a green glow because you're bringing in the green color of the heart, or the emerald color of one of those chakras. Let's see, which one is it? Oh, it's the fifth: illuminated truth, healing, and the new vision of all that is, or the master understanding of the word God is all that is. Everything that exists inside, outside, all around us, the unified field of all that is. And that's the color green. So this comet is coming through our solar system to, understand or into our vision through that Big Dipper, into our galaxy. So allowing us to know that it's bringing this newness and it's healing the heart. So with that healing of the heart, it's softening the edges of all that comes into the heart to like make it like stone, all the angst, all the difficulty, all that makes the voice close down, partly because if the heart isn't open, then the voice isn't open. If the voice isn't open and we can't be empowered, then we shut down there. We shut down in all sorts of places. And we're in such a time of women's empowerment that I just say, okay, yes, you have a vision. You have a consciousness. It's bringing forth what to do. There will be the next step. What's the next step to do in the journey? And you might need a day of contemplation, of recovery from whatever, all of the steps that have brought some difficulty up to this moment. And I like to hold in our hearts all those who suffer, because our hearts are that big. And even in our own little group, there are those who suffer. In our own little circle of women that we have, that this email goes out to. Then bring the fingers together And this is a mudra, and your thumbs to your heart as you breathe gratitude through the heart. And gratitude of appreciation, caring, and compassion. Let those expand inside your own body, sending, and you might see what the vision is. Like the imagination is so strong. It's really the cross-cultural shamanic process to make a vision. It's like an awake dream, and some of you are amazing dreamers, and just making an awake dream of what does gratitude, appreciation, caring, and compassion look like as it floods your body, and your body shines the light of a rainbow, and that light shimmers outside your skin and thousands of times more at your heart chakra, with the thumbs at the heart, the fingertips together to ignite the light, as though we're lighting every color: red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, indigo blue, violet. And then we're awakening the new chakras as we awaken to our fifth dimensional vibrational self. So take a deep breath in as you breathe that gratitude. Hold the breath at the top of the breath. Let it go all the way through the body and get, really powerful breath here. Let it go with a sigh, opening the heart with the ah sound, all the way out, down to the very base of the spine. Kegel there, squeeze at the base of the spine, and release and squeeze again and release. And that's a powerful awakening of the Kundalini energy at the base of the spine, the awakened snake. You can imagine the power animal of a snake, a transformational snake that sheds its skin regularly. So shed a skin. Consider shedding a skin. Then release the arms down. Open up the legs into five-pointed star if you're down on the floor. If you're seated, just open up the legs somehow to feel the opening. Bring the arms up in a V position. And so you're awakening and connecting with the soul star chakra above your head. And that's where your soul is involved in speaking your truth. What is the soul saying? What is the words of the soul? What does that mean? You're exploring that in the new human. And then the universe chakra is the gateway, or is this kind of tube that takes us out to the galaxy to know that we're not separated from the rest of the galaxy. So everything that happens in our galaxy matters. And so if you've never been a fan of astrology, it might be time to just be curious, and then let that go further out there to this divine matrix. And this is the quantum field at its best. This is the quantum physics understanding of space-time continuum, of that there's limitness, that we are one galaxy in the universe of unlimited galaxies, and the universe is always expanding. And then you go back to, well, if I am you and you are me and all is one, then I am light and I am all of the galaxy and I am the universe. There is no separation. We come from the stuff of stars, we're made of the stuff of the stars, and we go back to the stuff of stars. And in the meantime, we're given this amazing gift full of gratitude to experience this earth walk that has, some people call it God-godding, however, this big universal understanding of that word, the great mystery, the unmanifested presence, the Ein Sof, the El, the great Elohim, lots of words for it, that we're given this gift in this body to experience that, so that God can experience that. Whatever that is about, it's the great mystery. Bring the feet flat on the floor and the hands to namaste, and take a moment again of just in some kind of neutral posture, which feels just gentle. And we'll make this a very gentle class today to soften the edges of the earth walk as we just embrace the amazingness, the, the awesomeness of this journey that teaches us, kind of this angst and horribleness and all those emotions, and then the opposite of that, so that we can experience awesomeness and ecstasy, joy, and then all the other things that are up there in that realm of spaciousness and of creativity and of inspiration, imagination, intuition. And then integrate it all. Take a breath, let it go, let the arms come down to the sides, pull the knees in. Take a deep breath in and out as you feel the lower back. Now, a lot of that first chakra stuff gets stuck in the three lower chakras, the first, second, and third. And it's everything from the time we were born to trying to be the person we're supposed to be, but getting stuck in the third chakra, being disempowered. And, there's women's history, there's racist history, there's the rise of the patriarchy and what that history did. There's all of the history of the world that can bring us such sorrow. Change directions with that circle and imagine you're just opening the portal of a new human into that chakra that is your second and third. The second one is your creativity and your birthing your new self, birthing the new human. It's an orange color. And it's the water element. So just every metaphor that you can come forward with water, then pull the knees in and open the knees wide. Still work it with that water. Roll the ankles, point and flex the feet. This is a practice that is one I go back to all the time to bring me back and open that second chakra. So here we are opening that second chakra, rolling the feet. And again, it can be a rebirthing. So you can see yourself rebirthing, and you could be rebirthing because you're the angst of having to moving is like a rebirthing process. Leaving a job, starting a new job, losing someone in your family system that is close to you, grieving process. It's a rebirthing process. Think of all the things that might be part of this, and bring the feet up and then let the hands travel down your legs. You can always have a strap nearby. You can catch hold of your pants. You can catch hold of your toes if your legs allow you to. But if you have a strap, you can use the strap here and hold onto your feet. But this is the happy baby posture. And just side to side, so you do a little bit more massage of this area. Again, you can catch your ankles. You can catch behind the knees, just lengthen the legs out a little bit more. And, bring in all the babies that maybe you've known that are born. Maybe you had your own babies born. Maybe you can go back to your own birth and see yourself coming into a world that says, welcome to the world. I'm so glad you're here. I totally embrace every sparkling part of your rainbow. Then shake it out. And just shake it all out as though you could shake out the old and bring in the new, and then wiggle the wrists and the elbows and the arms, and as though you're just exploring space as a little infant, and you're going, wow, this is what it feels like outside the womb. Wow, air, not water. And the air is about the heart, but we have to go through that empowerment. So here we are. And then see if you want to lift your head up. Use that core, a little bit of that core to bring the shoulders off the floor, still breathing. And see if you want to even put more, stretch out and take up more space. Think of the little infant that's not allowed to take up space And then think of the infant as it grows and can take up lots of space, and then takes up so much space that it changes all of our lives if you've had an infant. And then all of the difficult things that might go on as you watch the emerging of this new human into the world, and then freeze. And you're dealing with space and the space between. What does that mean? And then change that position and freeze. If it's too hard to have your head off the floor, just have your head down and be in another position and feel the space and the space between. And then pull the knees in, take a deep breath in and out. Feet on the floor, drop the knees side to side. Okay, so now totally relaxing the second chakra. Twisting here from the core, from the third chakra, from the fire, from the color yellow. To gain the power that we lost along the way. So take a moment and wring out the old. So knees to the side, head to the other side. So you're just twisting the whole spine, but imagine you're a rag and you can just wring out the old. And just keep twisting that old. Now, if you want a little bit more vigor, you take the top leg, cross it over the bottom leg. I take the bottom leg, cross it over the top. So my right leg is going over my left leg. If you want it more gentle, you widen the feet out, or you grab a cushion or a block and you put it between the knees. You can do this seated. You can do this lying in the bed. You can do it even on a couch if the couch is wide enough. You can do it anywhere, anytime. You can do it on a park bench. You can do it lying down on a picnic table, a blanket. You can even do it sitting in a car. Breathing, relaxing, twisting. Breathe into that third chakra as though you're bringing this new life energy in, this new empowerment, softening the edges of how we had to fight for our power, and how the power, fighting for power has never really gotten anyone anywhere. It usually hurtful. Then change directions, knees to the other side, head opposite the knees again. You can use the block. You can put feet, knees, and thighs on top of each other. You can use that block behind you too. And that kind of pulls you over a little bit further. Your head turns opposite, so that from the center of the skull to the base of the spine, at the sacrum, you are actually twisting all the way. We're resetting the spine. Take a breath or two. Use the sighing for as much as you need to keep releasing the tension. It's a breath pattern. The ah sound continues to nurture the heart. The heart is kind of the halfway point between the zero chakra, now beneath our feet or beneath our body, up to the fifth, or to the heart, and then up further. The heart becomes almost part, it's almost like halfway, in that we have 12 chakras now. Probably were always 12. We just didn't have we hadn't moved through the dimensions and evolved enough to be able to recognize them. Again, your feet, your bottom leg can cross over the top. You can see my foot maybe at the screen. And that's a lot more strong on the body. And then release that and come back to center. We're going to just strengthen the core a little bit through the most gentlest of ways to strengthen. Still working with that letting go and relaxing, getting rid of the old and bringing in the new empowerment. So you look at the ceiling, and the gentlest form here is just press into the lower back and release. Press into the lower back and release. Squeeze at the pelvic floor at the same time. So squeeze at the pelvic floor and release. The second piece, just lift the shoulders off the floor, look at the ceiling, and exhale. You can do an exhale with a sigh, or you can exhale in and out of the nose. The third and fourth and fifth, you go up to bending the knees, going into table position with perpendicular knees, or lengthening out the legs. Blow out. And if you're totally exhausted today, remember, you can still do this with the feet on the floor, and you can still do this by squeezing the pelvic floor and just pressing the lower back into the floor. You're restoring what got taken by being disempowered by the systems that we're working with. And then hold for a moment. You know, I'm disempowered by Google. You know, it's like, okay, take a break. And I'm disempowered by Apple. Pull the knees in, take a deep breath in and out. Knee to elbow so that we cross the brain. Now, you can do this in a chair, you know, or you can do this standing. The simplest is just to tap one knee, and what we're doing is crossing the brain. This is energy medicine for crossing the brain, for rebalancing the two sides of the brain. You can put the hands behind the head and do elbows and exhale on each side. As you exhale on each side, you're going to engage that abdominals a little bit more. Squeeze at the pelvic floor. It's something we always forget. And then you can pick your feet off the floor, pick up the feet. So you're just going for the knees. You can lengthen out one leg. Then hold one side, whether your feet are off the floor or not. Take a breath, change the breath pattern. Hold the other side. Take a breath. Then pull the knees in. And lengthen the legs out, reach the arms above the head, stretch from the heels of the hands to the heels of the feet, and hold your breath. Hold the breath, hold the breath, hold the breath. Feel the stretch of the front surface of the body. Feel the arms go as far as they can. And then relax. Take a moment, take a breath. Feel the body after what we've just done up to now. And we're almost, we've been on the floor the whole time. But we are going to come up for just a little bit. We're going to come up. And then we're going to bring the knees under us so we can get the full movement of the spine. You know, I always talk about these 6 movements of the spine. And you can do them lying on your back, but you don't get all of them. And you get to experience the freedom of the space. And then as you're doing this movement, see if you can feel the stretch of the front surface of the body. Inhale one direction. Exhale the other. And you have lots of choices here. You can just hold in one position, hold in the other position, or you could put it in motion, up, around, and up and around. Lots of choices here. If you want a little bit more vigor, then you can come into child. And you can stay here, because for some of you, this is going to be a very restorative posture. Or you can come up if you want a little bit of feeling of your strength of your arms. You come up into upward dog. And then you can, again, put it in motion. Lots of choices. You always have so many choices. Yoga can be adapted to everybody and in every form that their body might take, including people have no arms and legs or can't move their arms and legs. You inhale up and you exhale back. And we get the full extremes of the movement of the spine. Ah. And then pause in hands and knees again and just look around to the side, because this is the other form of the spine. And a lot of times you might see me do it standing. And if you're on a chair, you can just go side to side with your arms, so you get the hold on one side. So you get like the curve, the C curve, and the C curve on the other side. Ah. And then back to center. I know we're kind of late here, but I really need to stretch my legs. So here we go. If you can, and if you want to, come up just to stretch the backs of the legs. Ah. And we feel the strength of the arms and the balance between legs and arms. And then bring the knees down, fold back in child for a moment. And remember, lots of choices here. Knees can be wide. Ah. And also you can come into puppy stretch, which is elbows with, holding the head up, and you get a nice curve of the spine. Ah. So child can be done with knees together or knees apart. You can come into puppy stretch instead, which is a little bit different. And then lengthen out into the front surface of the body if you're in an area or a place you can, and press off from your toes so you can do the cerebral spinal fluid balancer. Such an important one to do. Not a whole lot of people I know teach this, but it comes from the wisdom of osteopathic medicine. And it's resetting the cerebral spinal fluid, that when we have those stresses upon us, the stresses put kinks in that spinal fluid, and we want to rock it like we would a baby who needs soothing. And we know that somehow that rocking helps the baby get more comfortable. Then let that go and roll over to your back. And here you're going to decide, what do you need right now? We haven't done a couple of these postures in a long time. I need the equipment to do them, but I really love this one. It's reclined goddess. Now, without any equipment, it's soles of the feet together and arms out to the sides. And this again goes back to opening the pelvis, opening the hips, opening into the goddess energy or the feminine, honoring the feminine. I like to do it with equipment that opens the shoulders. And so what I do is I take my 2 blocks and my bolster, and I sit on the floor and I put the blocks underneath my knees, and I can just relax here. And you can also just take a block and put your feet up, or you put your feet up on the wall or over a chair. We do that one a lot as our last posture. So see what you need. Do the legs need to be up in supported shoulder stand, or do you need a posture that opens your shoulders? Or do you need Shavasana? And Shavasana is just lengthening the legs out, lengthening the arms out, maybe a cushion underneath your knees. And I want you to bring forward, if you can, the colors of the opal. Because the opal is the ultimate of the understanding of what we're working with. The opal is transfiguration and transformation. And it is the I am presence. I am presence, and I'm at one with all that is. It's that divine, or that divinity that I keep working towards understanding. And when I combine my quantum physics understanding, I go, wow. And when I go, the fascia of our body, that has just been recently discovered and is now the largest organ of our body, called the interstitium from the medical community. That fascia is around every single cell in the body. And it's the same kind of form as what we have described the quantum field to look like, through models, through, computer models. So I am the quantum field. I am the universe. I am the opal. And if I take all of the colors and I look at what the opal looks like, I take my consciousness to the vision of me as an opal, or the color flooding my body, or my consciousness shining this interesting, translucent, multicolored, fascinating, gem, what we call gems in the world of rocks and minerals, a precious gem. And then imagine that all of these new chakras are suns, they're stars, because it's at this point, as the human has evolved from the seven, that were all vortices. There were like vortexes to the center of the body and coming out the back body and the front body. You can find those images on the internet of what the vision was, and now the vision is stars, suns. And one is below your body. So imagine the earth star chakra below the body, and the 12th chakra out into the universe. And that you are part of it all. And this great word that we use that has thousands of meanings and interpretations and words and languages that it's said in, and that it ultimately means all that exists. And we use that word and embody that with that color opal. And there's a part of us that can understand transfiguration and transmutation. And there's a part of us that isn't there yet, that the neural pathways are going, let me see, what does that mean really? How does that look? I am light. You are light. We all are light. I am you. You are me. We are one. I see you. I see me. Bring the hands together at our heart. And namaste. Namaste is a universal symbol. It's a universal mudra. Hello, goodbye. I honor you. I see you. I honor me. I pray to you. I pray to me. I pray. I send you out with love. There's, just feel it. The hands come together in what's known as prayer position. And some traditions, they pass the prayer through a whole group of people in a congregation. They can pass the prayer with this symbol. It's very incredible to feel that feeling, to see that image of the passing of the prayer. Peace, shalom, salam, pak, shanti, pache, mir, maluhia, frieden, hang sang. May we have peace, and may what we do here go out onto the world and make more peace within ourselves, within one other person that we can touch, and then with all of humanity and all beings. Soham, Hag Sa. Then decide whether you need some time there just to stay in Shavasana. I'm going to roll off my cushion and come to Shavasana for a moment and just ground into the earth, into a somewhat neutral position. Taking a breath. Then rolling over into the fetal posture, which for me is super comfortable. Not everybody is comfortable here, but I always have been restoring my infant inside myself by honoring this posture and feeling the comfort. And then walking up into mermaid position, which just seems like a natural for me, but not everybody. And I'm still inside myself, coming back from the meditation in motion, from the visualizations, and then coming onto the hands and knees, which brings me back to this solid grounding. And then I'm taking my left foot and pushing off with my right. Then feeling my feet, hands together, namaste. Thank you for being here. Coming back to unpin myself and to stop.